Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video I'm going to be setting up my reading journal for 2022. I kind of had a reading journal for 2021 but it wasn't a big thing, and I really realised only a few months in that I really wanted a proper reading journal set up ready for 2022. So yeah, this is it. It's super simple, super easy. Any of the equipment I'm using or like bits and bobs, if I can find a link to them, I will link them in the description. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So this is the first page here, and this is my 2022 goals page. I have made an entire video on my 2022 goals, but I also really wanted them wrote down first page when I open the journal and just have them there and ready to achieve, basically. So there's ones that are like numeric goals, like how many books I want to read. There's also reading the books I already own and all sorts like that. Then this next page is potentially my favourite page of the entire journal. So this is my bookshelf page, and I will say the camera does cut out before I manage to finish this, but I will show it properly in the flip through at the end. But yeah, this just turned out so good. So essentially I'm just drawing some shelves now, and I saw online somewhere like that people had drawn like fairy lights and twinkly lights with shelves, and I was like, that looks so good, so I tried it and I'm so pleased that I did. This is so simple but it looks so effective. So all I'm using here as well for almost the entire of this outline is just like one black pen, and I just can't believe how easily it came together. And it's just drawing little lines in between these stars just made it really truly look like lights. Then obviously I also added in books. I fit in as many books as I could basically, and I managed to fit 101 books in total. I also end up drawing in a little plan, a little alarm clock and a goldfish. Last year I drew my cats into this bookshelf thing that I made, but it just wasn't to scale and I wanted to fit as many books as possible, so this is what I went with this year, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I will hopefully read more than 101 books, but we'll just have to see, and this will just look so good coloured in, I already know. I haven't yet decided if I'm going to just colour it in any colour like as and when I finish a book, or if I'm going to come up with some kind of key and do like audiobooks, ebooks, physical books, like separate colours to kind of see that proportion. I'm really not sure yet, but I've probably got until a couple of weeks into January to figure that out, so hopefully I can get that all sorted. And yeah, I'm really happy with this and excited to see how it looks at the end of the year. The next page we've got are my anticipated releases of 2022. So there are more than this, but I've only printed out the ones that have already had a cover reveal, and essentially I just printed them out on sticker paper, stuck them into the book, and then wrote the date they come out underneath them. And hopefully throughout the year when I do different book shopping and stuff, I will be able to refer back to this page. It's not perfect. I wish I'd kind of left more space because I feel like there'll be more announced throughout the year that I'm also excited about, but for now these are the ones that have really caught my attention. And I have done a whole video on anticipated releases as well, so I will link that up above. Then I also have figured out some books that I am basically going to do so they're like self-destruct in 12 months. I either have to read them or have to get rid of them. So this was the page that I set up for this. As I'm recording the setup for this, I hadn't actually filmed the video, so I wasn't sure what books I was going to pick. So it does get left blank, but you'll see it in the flip through at the end that that's all sorted and they're all in there. Then I wanted to have a set space for my books purchased. I need to get in control of my book buying. I mean, it's not a problem, I love books, but I definitely buy too many books for the amount that I'm reading. So one of the goals I set myself on the first page was that I'm only allowed to buy one book for every 3 books I read, and that'll hopefully get my shelves a bit more in order throughout the year as well. So this double page setup here is literally just when I buy a book I will write it in, and hopefully I don't use up more than this double spread throughout the entire year. Unfortunately that did cut off, but just starting on the next page now, we've got my Goodreads goal. I don't know if I really needed this page, but I really like the look of it, so I added it in. Obviously this will actually be tracked on Goodreads mainly. Every so often I'll come in with a highlighter or something and kind of see where I am. So I will say, as I'm doing it now, I'm doing these little squares. These are just 2 squares either way, so if you put your pen on 1 dot, you go 2 dots over and 2 dots down, makes a really cute little square. I am going to have to add more in because I ended up reading a lot more than I thought I had this year, which not a bad thing. So yeah, I will add more squares in later on, but for now that's the Goodreads goal page. And then the other side, I did a check it out page, and I'm so happy with how this turned out. It was just so much scrap paper, but it looked really good in the end. And this is also when I got my new stamps out. I purchased these to start using in my journals this year, and I'm so happy I did. I think they really make it look so cool. Then on the next page, I did a very similar thing, scrap paper, and this was my video ideas page. I make a lot of bookish videos, so if I have an idea when I'm sorting through my journal, I can just write it down. Then we have a growth tracker. So this is for mainly YouTube, but I've got a bit more space, so I added in Instagram as well because I do have like a little Bookstagram page that I do really enjoy using. And yeah, I'm basically just at the end of every month, I will have a proper look through how it's grown and what's going on. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'll just fill it in every month. There's 5 different things to select, and just using a very simple black pen and then a pink and purple highlighter worked so well. Then this was a perfect excuse for me to use these new stamps. This was an alphabet challenge page. And honestly, I think this turned out really cool. It's so simple, but obviously it'll get filled in over the year. So when I read a book starting with the letter A, I'll write it in A. Starting with B, I'll write it in B, and so on. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll complete the challenge. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. Then we have readathons happening. This was a really important one for me to set up because it's one thing that I really struggle to keep a track of. There's always so many readathons happening that even if I see one I'm interested in, I often forget about it, so this will be a really good page. And then this is the other contender for my favourite page, and this is my series tracker. So it was super simple. I basically just split each page in half down the middle, and for every series I used 1 box to indicate each book. I then chose the purple pen for 2021, and any that I've read this year I filled in with the purple pen. Any I already own, I put a black dot in, and it's that simple, and this will see me through and through. Then we have an overview page. I love the idea of this. It didn't quite turn out how I wanted. I decided to use a blue pen for this. I thought it'd make it look a bit different and a bit cool, but I just don't think that the colours ended up working. It looks a little bit simple for my personal taste, but it'll still do the job and I can improve upon it next year. So yeah, this is just literally, they're meant to be open books, but they really don't look like it with how I've ended up doing this. And I will just write in the physical, audio and ebooks I've read each month, the total number of books and the total pages. Then we eventually have our first monthly setup page. This is obviously for January, because January is the first month of the year. I've got a simple bit at the top where it just says books read and pages read. Headed up at my TBR, so most of the months it should hopefully say my new TBR game that I'll be starting for January. Write my TBR down and then keep track of the days that I've read as well. I did have a bit of extra room, so I decided to add my filming schedule in here. I'm going to attempt to upload 3 times a week in 2022, so I figured I'd keep it prominent wherever I look so I can really try and achieve that. So yeah, really happy with how this turned out, although I do wish I'd used a lighter grey colour to indicate the different ones. Then monthly wrap up, I'm basically just going to stick pictures of the books in here at the end of the month, so I just made it pretty and made it so I like the look of it. And then I literally just wrote monthly stats on the last page, and that was me finished setting up. So let's go through the flip through. Okay, so I've finished setting this up for now at least, so I thought I'd do a final flip through of what it looks like. So we open it up. I've started filling in the contents page here just with the yearly setup. I haven't yet put in the January. Then we have the 2022 goals here. I'm happy with them. Hopefully I achieve them. I don't really know how much to say about all of this because I expect I've spoken quite a lot through the voiceover, but I have not yet recorded that, so I'm just going to talk about like why I've put the different pages in. So here I've done a bookcase. There's 101 books here total. You know, fingers crossed I'll actually read more than that. If so, I'll add like a little book cart in by using a little flap or something. But yeah, and I just added this because I did it last year and really enjoyed the visual of ticking off the books as I went. Then I've done a books purchased double spread. This is to try and keep me accountable, honestly. I buy way too many books, especially in 2021. It got really out of hand. I moved at the very end of 2020 to a place that has a lot of very good charity shops for books, and yeah, I purchased way too much. Like, the books I purchased in 2021 would probably need like 5 or 6 of these double spreads. So yeah, really not good. Trying to hold myself accountable, buy less books. So that's why I've done this one. Then I've done the Goodreads goal. I will actually have to add some in over here. It has been a couple of weeks since I filmed this spread, and I have actually now hit 100 books on Goodreads. So yeah, we've still got about 2.5 weeks left of December. So fingers crossed it will all go okay. And then this is my little check it out page. Honestly, often I will find recommendations or notice a particular book being spoken about a lot online, or get recommendations from like real life friends, and I'd like to have a space to write that out, so I've got it in like one permanent space rather than having like notes here, there and everywhere. So that's why I've done this one. Over this side I've done video ideas. Obviously I create a lot of bookish videos, so I just thought it'd be really decent to, again, if I've got any particular ideas, to be able to write it down. I do have a spreadsheet for like my like immediate ideas, like ones I'm working on over the next couple of months. But I thought this would be a good space for if inspiration sparks to write it down. I also did a growth tracker. I thought, why not, to be quite honest. So I did subscribers, watch time, and 365 watch time, and then followers and posts. I do also have like a Bookstagram account. I'm not that active on there, but I really enjoy it and really like the like community aspect of the Bookstagram. So yeah, I thought that'd be interesting to show the growth of. And then I decided to include this alphabet challenge page. The alphabet challenge is basically just, I can't think of any names of books now. So there's a book called Zoo City. So once I read Zoo City, I can write it in here. And like the goal is by the end of the year to have like read a book starting with each of the letters of the alphabet. This is just a silly one, but I've seen it floating around and I thought it'd be fun to do like over the entirety of the year, like just see if I can hit it. I feel like I probably won't concentrate on it, at least for the first couple of months. I'll just see how easy it is to do because I've never done this before. Yeah, I'll put a page to like look at that, would be really fun. Then here I've done a readathons happening page. I did quite a few readathons this year. I think I took part in about 5 or 6. So I thought this would be a really good place to like actually write when they're happening, because there's a few that I would have taken part in if I'd have known about them sooner, but I just didn't. So hopefully this will make it easier for me to figure out what I'm taking part in, what I can reasonably do with the rest of the books I want to read in a month, and all that jazz. And then this is just a blank page. There's one page spread here. If you have any ideas of things that would be useful, let me know, because I'm very open to doing whatever comes natural with this page. I just don't have any ideas for things I need right now. And then this is one of my favourite spreads, and probably will be one of my favourite spreads. It's super simple, like I haven't done any decoration here, but this is my series tracker. Essentially before 2021 I did track reading, but not very well. So in 2021 I've like got a new Goodreads and I've really started tracking it. So these are all the series that I've like started and read during 2021. Obviously during 2022 it'd be really fun to try and like finish some of them. So I've used this purple colour for 2021, and I'll pick a colour out at the start of the year, probably when I read the first book. I'm hoping this is enough space. I want to try and finish series before starting new ones, so fingers crossed this is enough space. But I just think it's really effective and really cool, and it's also good to see the ones that I own as well. So like the Gossip Girl books I own all of, Morganville Vampires I own half of, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I actually probably shouldn't have put this here. I did start reading the first book in this series this year, but as of yet I have not finished it, and I don't know if I'm going to get round to it, so maybe I shouldn't have put this one, but oh well. And yeah, I've got a whole page to continue on with, so I'm really happy with that one. Then I also did a 2022 overview. I'm really happy with how this technically turned out, but I don't think my colours were the best picks for this, but oh well. So yeah, I just thought at the end of each month it would be good to write out the amount of physical, audio and ebooks I've read, the total books read and the total pages read, and just have like an overview of the entire year. When I'm doing wrap up starting next year, I'm going to try and include like some statistics in there as well. Obviously I normally say how many stars I give each book and talk about them, but I think it would be a bit more fun and a bit more informative to have like how many books I gave 5 stars to versus like 1 star, and how many pages I've read versus like the average for the rest of the month of the year and all that. This would just be an easy place to keep track of the basics. And then we move on to January. So I've only set up January so far. If this works out well, I will probably set up the rest of the months almost the exact same. So this is January, books read, pages read. How did I pick my TBR? So hopefully I'll have a TBR game and I'll be playing it. Write the TBR out. Days read. I'll come up with a colour coding system, and you know, this is like first, second, third, fourth, like this is January. And yeah, and then filming schedule as well. So once I've figured out what I'm filming, I'm going to try and do 3 videos a week next year. Fingers crossed. Again, I feel like I'm crossing my fingers a lot. But yeah, over onto the next page, this is going to be the monthly wrap up. Essentially last year I started putting in little pictures and prints of the books that I'd been reading. So I just printed these out on sticker paper, cut them up and put them on a page, and I really liked how they look, so I wanted to include that in the reading journal this year. So at the end of each month I will figure out how many books I've read, how much space they can take up, and plop them in. And then, as I said, I want to take a lot more care of what statistics I'm looking at as well. So all I've done for now is write monthly stats, because obviously I don't know how it's going to turn out until I've read the books. But I want to kind of track how I'm reading the books, what stars I gave the books, the LGBTQIA plus representation, the age demographic, genre of book, and then author identities, so both in their gender and in their ethnicity, and then total books and total pages. So yeah, that is it for now. This is the front of the journal. I don't think I actually properly showed this, but I just shoved some stickers on it and used my label maker, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a like, subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.